Irashaimase! Hey everyone, we're Natasha and Yukio, and today we're going to make tofu the Japanese way. If you go to Japan, you can see that tofu is served in many different ways. Mainly fresh with soy sauce and ginger, or fried like agedashi tofu. Like many soy products, it originally came from China around the year 710 to 784, and was popularly used as shojin food, which literally translates to training food. This was the training food of monks who had to adhere to a strict vegan diet according to Zen Buddhism. A typical shojin meal consisted of soy products, vegetables, and wild mountain plants. These are believed to bring balance and alignment to the body, mind, and spirit through a balance of colors and flavors in the food. So now let's get into it. So first we're going to rinse the soybeans. You want to wash them quite thoroughly so that they're clean to start. Then into a bowl we pour 1 liter of water and 250 grams of soybeans we just washed and let it rest overnight. The level of hydration can change from recipe to recipe, but keep it between 1 liter and 1.5 liters. To get ahead, we will pierce the tofu container we bought this week. You don't really need a mold, but it's convenient if you want to cut it into squares for cooking. Anything could work, like a milk carton, or use anything you have at hand. Let's move into the next morning. Your beans should have soaked up some water. Drain them and put them in a blender with the liquid used for soaking. We've seen that in traditional tofu making, sometimes they don't reuse the soaking water. Alternatively, calculate the water absorbed and compensate with new water. This is essentially the process of making soy milk. If you have soy milk and wish to start from this step, since it's way easier, you can try. However, it may not work since soy milk is treated, usually by adding alkaline solutions, to avoid it curdling when adding coffee. Otherwise, look in the ingredient list and check that there are no acidity modulators. Then pour the blended liquid into a bowl or directly into a cooking pot. It should look like a thick cream. Scrape the blender as smoothly as Yuki is doing and continue doing this in batches if necessary until all the soybeans have been processed into paste. Pour into a cooking pot and place on a stove at high heat. Choose a bigger rather than a smaller pot since the paste will increase significantly in size when cooking. Cook continuously stirring to avoid burning at the bottom with a wooden spoon. Right before it starts boiling, turn the stove to a very low heat. Keep whisking for 8 minutes and then turn it off and you should start smelling fresh soy milk. Now it's time for pressing the milk. Line a colander with a cheesecloth and put on top of another cooking pot. Put rubber gloves to avoid burning yourself and start putting the paste into the colander to drain the soy milk. If you don't have a cheesecloth, you could alternatively use a kitchen cloth. But if you buy a cheesecloth, it's very handy and you can wash it and keep reusing it for years to make nut milk, ricotta, and other cooking projects. Now that all the paste is in the colander, we're going to fold the cheesecloth to press the soy milk out. This is not an easy process. You will need quite a lot of strength to press the milk out, but go at it with all your strength. We press it with our hands, but we've seen videos in Japan of people using a wooden slate and pressing with their whole body. After a long time, which is poorly represented in this video, we managed to get our two products, the liquid, which is the milk, and the solids, which is the okara. Okara is the insoluble material of the soy paste and is usually consumed in China, Korea, and Japan with different names. It can be put in vegetarian hamburgers as a stir-fry component, or if you don't want to eat it, it is a good source of nitrogen and adds tilth to the soil. Now let's continue with the soy milk. Turn the stove on medium heat and heat the soy milk until it hits 80 degrees, or if you don't have a thermometer, until the soy milk starts releasing a lot of vapor but it's not boiling. Turn off the heat. Now we're going to add the coagulant, in this case the nigari. This is magnesium chloride salt, which is the salt formed when precipitating seawater. This is traditionally used for Japanese tofu due to their accessibility to the sea and emerged as a byproduct of salt production. However, Chinese tofu uses gypsum, which has slightly different texture. Add 1 tablespoon and begin to stir very slowly. The easiest way we thought to describe the motion is as if you were cutting a pizza. In the case that nigari is not easily accessible to you, you can use other coagulants for the soy milk. I've read in Reddit posts of people using calcium chloride, Epsom salts, gypsum, vinegar, and even lemon instead. However, bear in mind that vinegar and lemon might impart some flavor into the final product. Personally, we have never tried them, so if you do, let us know how it goes. So this is what ours looked like after adding the nigari. Now cover and let the nigari act for 10 minutes. Uncover and you can see how the soy milk has formed some solids, a bit like a yogurt if you jiggle it. Now get the cheesecloth that in our case was magically clean and line it on your mold. This will contain your tofu. Pour the mixture into the mold, even it out with a spatula, and fold the cheesecloth in to cover the tofu. In the case that you don't have a mold, you can hang it on the cheesecloth itself, but keep in mind that it will be losing water and needs to drain, so don't let it sitting in a plate. Rest for a couple of hours, we'd say at least 3 hours or overnight like we did, and the tofu will set a bit. Next morning, open the tofu and have a bath of water ready. The water helps to get some of the bitter nigari taste away. If you still think it's too strong, the flavor will diminish the longer it stays in water. The tofu is done and ready to enjoy. For storage, the tofu can be stored for quite a long time if submerged in a container with water. However, you must change the water daily. You will clearly smell it when the tofu goes off. So now we're going to share our favorite way of using tofu. My favorite way is in mapo tofu, which is a Chinese stir-fry that uses pork, tofu, chili, and a lot of Szechuan pepper. What's your favorite way, Yukio?
My favorite way to consume tofu is hiyayako, which is chilled tofu with several toppings like ginger, spring onion, and soy sauce.